Hey everyone, this is Mark Beloy here, and today I'm finally going to be making my tutorial, and this is just going to be a simple tutorial, and our goal is going to be just landing on MUN. So we shall begin, shall we? And I'm going to explain the different parts, at least, the parts we're going to be using, because I had been requested, just a simple tutorial, so I'm going to try and keep it simple. Of course, when building a new spaceship, you always have to choose your vessel first. I have a mod installed, so never mind about that. We want to be landing on MUN, and you can see some parts like this Probodobodyne QBE, sorry, and the Stayputnik and the Probodobodyne Octo. They are probes. They're basically meant for, a lightweight machine, preferably running on something like the Ant engine or Ion engine, so it has, the maximum thrust weight ratio as possible compared to using your Mark 1-2 command pod, which is, total mass 4 tons, total mass 0.05, so you can see the big difference here. We want to be landing on it, so I thought it could be pretty cool if we had, a lander. So we're going to be taking the lander one here. As you can see, it's kind of in the middle with its mass, but let's not think about mass. You can, of course, scroll upwards by using your mouse, and do remember this is live commentating, live audio. So, if you're a lazy person, and I'm a lazy person, you would go under control and pick advanced SAS module, because by pressing the button T when in flight, a blue button on your nav ball would light up saying SAS, directing that basically you can point one direction and it's going to try and keep that direction for you. It's basically a pilot, autopilot. We have different other ones, and of course do not look at all of these spots I have. That's going to be for a later video. And as you can see, it weighs a half ton. I would assume it's a ton here. So it's, decent in weight. We start from building our last stage, which is going to be stage 1. And it's just going to be a simple stage here. Just going to put, the Rocco Max X208 fuel tank, because it has, a decent amount of fuel. It doesn't weigh too much, and it's good with the Rocco Max Poodle liquid engine, because you can see here how it's the same size as the fuel tank, in contrast to be using like one of these here. As I'm gonna just demonstrate quick, it would look kind of stupid having it like this. And we want to build our spaceship's nice and tidy, and this one can only carry 180, the half of this Rocco Max X200. Now we're just gonna make it into different stage, and that's by going under structural. Structural will have all sorts of things like a decoupler. This here is a decoupler for your big parts, your is it a 3-meter diameter parts, such as the Rocco Max Poodle engine. But you can see this one here, it's a smaller one for a normal stage, and you can have some expansions here. So if you wanted to put, for example, 2 rockets or 2 parachutes, just making it creative. And structural, you can also, this is more for space station builds, and once again expansions, as you can see here. And we have some side decouplers as well. We are just going to continue building downwards. I'm going to try and show you guys a very nice and effective method for going to space. Instead of this is also a bit math, because 2 of these tanks here equals 1 of these. You can kind of see in the length. Of course, this one here is prettier, so we shall use that one. And pardon, see, I have still some mods, some stuff here. I'm just trying to find here we have the mainsail liquid engine producing 1500 kilonewtons of thrust. Note and beware, this is an extremely powerful engine. It uses a lot of thrust, a lot of fuel, so that's why we are gonna be having it using a different stage of fuel in the first stage. So basically we're just, by pressing X, you can expand, you know, your see X here, and we're just gonna put one decoupler here on the side, meaning we can now put, I preferably like using these tanks here, because you know they have the same amount as my first stage, but it's over an elongated area. I'm gonna try and see if I can figure a way out to put them here. In 18.4 we've had some problems with expanding with the decoupler, which has been a shame indeed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the similar but not quite similar decoupler here, because this used to work here, and of course you wouldn't have enough thrust to weight ratio without putting rockets on here. So we're gonna take the second most powerful of this series of rockets, and of course we're gonna build up some more fuel tanks, and we're gonna push it a bit downwards to make it, you know, balanced with the rocket engine. You can see here it's very pretty indeed. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna expand once again on the outer side here with some solid rocket fuel and rockets, just to give it more thrust to weight ratio in the first stage, because why not? But before putting it on, it's under structural, putting struts on when building big ships. A strut would be very good to use because it can stabilize your rocket quite a bit. So it's not gonna wobble around if thrusting too much, and the G-force can break your parts. So this is basically gonna help you with the G-force and atmosphere when undergoing high speeds. You can see how I kind of put it on nicely here. And also I forgot actually to put this in it. Is a external fuel duct, and I put it on the inner side, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna channel the fuel from these two tanks, the white tanks here, T600s, no T8 FLT 800, down in my mainsail engine, while still these rockets are using the liquid fuel as well. So all engines are going to be turned on, producing a nice amount of thrust. Just because I can, I'm gonna try and, now for some reason I can't put these on, so I'm just gonna try and make it again. Once again guys, this game is still in alpha or beta now, I'm actually not quite sure. So there are of course flaws with the system, and I'm just gonna put some extra struts on here. These solid rocket boosters, one thing you should note about them are they run on one type of thrust. They cannot be decreased or increased in thrust. They burn until no more fuel's in them, and this one can burn for I think 40 or 50 seconds. So it's gonna give us a nice amount of thrust in the beginning, just to try and pull us up through the layers of our atmosphere. What I'm gonna do, you can see here, I'm gonna pull my rockets from the inner stage here down to the same with these ones, just to give me even more push and even more thrust to weight ratio. And by the way, because I'm a bit stupid here, we would like to put some landing struts on the ship itself, so when we're gonna land, we can of course, yeah, extract our Kerbals on the surface of MUN. I do think this looks quite decent, so we should try it, I think. I'm just gonna put under aerodynamic, of course you have all sorts of cool stuff. Once again, I have a ton of mods, So I'm just gonna put a wing here on. Boom. We shall call this one MUN Lander. Please beware, I'm probably overbuilding it, but it's because I like having extra fuel in space. I'm not even sure if I'm overbuilding it. I'm just building a totally random machine I've never made before. Once again, T, you can see SAS is on, and it's kind of directing my wings here. And we shall thrust upwards. And, of course, your maximum effective speed is limited by the atmosphere. So, 80 meters per second within the first kilometer, and you're not going to be having problems with the atmosphere. So I'm thrust down with my inner rockets here, if you can see them, to try and have linear acceleration with the atmosphere as it goes up. So not too much of my fuel is actually going to the environment, the atmosphere. Just accelerating nicely here. You can see they are running out of fuel. You can just right click on the rockets themselves. And thrusting upwards, and we're done. We're decoupling. It's been a success. We're dropping in speed because we just don't have the right thrust-weight ratio. So, do beware of that. I'm not even sure if this is gonna work. Oh man, one thing is you would normally try and set your position on Kerbal 45 degrees ahead of the MUN. So if you're just thrusting directly upwards as I am, you're gonna have no problems reaching it. You're gonna have a direct home-man transfer, which is optimal, of course. I'm gonna be explaining the home-man transfers in math if you want later on in a different video, and you know, apoapsis, periapsis, what all of these things mean. See, now I'm beginning to gain some speed again, thank God. So I'm just gonna thrust downwards here. Once again, I haven't been able to post many videos on YouTube because I'm a part of what's called the Big MUN, which is kind of UN simulation for young people, teens, like I. And I've been working very hard on it. I came home 7 o'clock tonight, just, you know, very exhausted. So we're thrusting once again. We're running out of fuel in this tank, but you can see the middle engine is actually not running. So that's been a big problem here, because I didn't do the stage correctly. So I'll just activate it, and boom, now this would actually have been most effective, so I do pardon. This was not optimally done. Just gonna decouple, and you can see we're running on about 1/3 thrust, and we're accelerating. Of course, we want to reach a higher speed. So since I can't do the home-man transfer, I'm gonna have to show you a different way in case you're actually sending your shuttle up at the non-correct time. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be explaining it to you in the next video, so please do hang on, because I don't want it to be too long, this video, because if it was too long, you would get bored, and you know, you could watch this episode first. If you like it, just keep watching it. So I'm not going to be trying to take all your time out. So we're going to stop here at 422 meters per second, altitude 36,500. We just reached our orbit height. Of course, it switches your speed to orbit speed instead of your land speed, because of course your speed in orbit in comparison to the land speed is different. I'm going to be explaining it all in a later video. Once again, my name has been Mark Beloy, and we'll see you next time.